Hi there, Loy Machedo. Speaking to you from loymachedo.com. Who is Loy Machedo and Think Personal Branding? Today, I'm going to actually do a special book review that is for this book, that is My Vision, by the one and only Sheikh Mohammed. Okay. Now, this one is a special book review for me because I've always admired this guy. I've always admired this guy. So if in case you are a Dubai hater or a Sheikh Mohammed hater, I don't think this video is for you. But if you're a book lover and if you're one of those people who is really intrigued to understand this human being, who really wants to understand Dubai, who really wants to understand what the vision of Dubai is all about, then you should watch this video. But if you're just watching just to find me speak bad things about this man, which obviously I have not spoken bad about him, but I've given a few criticisms, then you should watch on. Otherwise, don't waste your time. So if you're looking to understand the man, the myth, the legend, the magician, that is Sheikh Mohammed, if you want to have a balanced view, that is the good, the bad, and the ugly, that is the criticisms. I have also criticized certain ideas in this book, then you should watch on. Okay. I have broken down the time zones down below. That is, after the video, I'll be putting the various timestamps. So if in case, let's say you want to watch, let's say the summary, I'll be putting when the summary starts, the detailed analysis, there'll be timeline achievements. There will also be wordplay. What words did I like in these books? What sentences and phrases? Criticisms, which I'm pretty sure you would want to check. How am I going to criticize the ideas in this book? Not the man, the ideas and some theories which he has given. And finally, the moment of truth. So I put the timestamp down below. Check it out. And like I always say, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't like it, give it a thumbs down. Most importantly, put your comments. I always love reading your comments, whatever it is. Good, bad, ugly. You want to abuse me. You want to say stuff about me, about this man, whatever, say. But this is a very exciting book review and I'm very excited. So without taking your time, let's start with the introduction. Now, Sheikh Mohammed, or his full name is Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. They always have this bin. Bin means the son. So Sheikh Mohammed, who is the son of Rashid Al Maktoum, he belongs to the Maktoum family. Now, if you take his name, you always get these strong opinions, strong feelings. Some people consider him this amazing modern leader. Like if you speak to any Arab from Dubai, they love him, they worship him. He's the only guy who is on Twitter who has millions of followers. He's the only leader of the Emirates who's very active on social media. So he has this cult-like following and people love him. And some people consider him like this polarizing figure. In fact, when people watch him, look at him, they get him, in total awe. In fact, you'll only see him. He's the only leader among all the 7 Emirates who goes on trains, who's seen in shopping malls, who's seen having a cup of coffee or cup of tea, who is seen interacting with his people. You'd not see any of the other Emirates. Like I've never seen the Sheikh of Ras Al Khaimah, the Sheikh of Al Quwain, the Sharjah Sheikh I've seen here and there. He's very bookish. He's a genius. He's a person who respects academics, knowledge. Sheikh of Abu Dhabi, not here and there, but Sheikh of Dubai, you'll see him. He's like the modern day Emirati king. Okay, so there are people who consider him like magical, mind-blowing, mysterious. Some consider him communicative, charismatic. Some say controversial. Some people say he's informative, he's insightful, but he's intriguing. Now, given the fact that I stayed in Dubai for 40 years of my life, I couldn't help but admire this man. After all, I mean, he made Dubai a global brand. Today, if you take Dubai, it's like there is always bling, there is Lamborghinis, there is skyscraper, there's world records. It's like, I want to make tax-free money. It's like the Las Vegas of the Middle East. Who made it? It is Sheikh Mohammed. It is just this guy. In fact, if you hear my voice, this sense of excitement, because this man is Dubai, and Dubai is this man. You cannot separate the two. I know that his son is now, trying to be the face of Dubai, but it is Sheikh Mohammed who will always be the Sheikh of Dubai, the face of Dubai. Yes, you had the late, really the respected Sheikh Rashid, who is an amazing human being. Sheikh Rashid, who is the father of Sheikh Mohammed, is such an incredible human being who loved people, who took care of people. He very simple guy. I used to watch these videos about him. He even loved Indians, Asians. He was the heart and soul. But Sheikh Mohammed became the brains, the drive, the energy, the testosterone. And Sheikh Mohammed is the one. Today, if you talk about modern day Dubai, this is Sheikh Mohammed. That's only one guy, okay? He's the one who made the impossible, the tallest building, the largest shopping mall, the world records. He transformed, okay? So he's the global icon, the exemplary leader, and it is he who has put Dubai on the map. However, he's not perfect. Let me tell you, he's not perfect, obviously, because he's a human being, okay? There are these ups and downs in his leadership. There were these dirty little secrets this gossip magazines tried to bring out. And also, as social media and the internet grew, they obviously, because, he drives a lot of eyeballs, they try to intrigue in his personal life. There were controversies, there were scandals. Now, two of the biggest controversies which are there, one is the tragic death of his son, Sheikh Rashid bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. He died. Now, there is a lot of mystery surrounding that. And you also have the drama that is of his daughter, Sheikha Latifa bint Mohammed Al Maktoum. Now, both of them, I don't want to give you my comments because it's his personal life. These are his children. It is his heart and soul. And it's not right that anyone comments about them. So if you're looking for information with regards to Sheikh Rashid bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, just go to Daily Mail online. You'll get all the stories there. And about Sheikha Latifa bin Mohammed Al Maktoum, there was this YouTube video, there was this scandal. You just check Mail Online. I refer to them. I check a couple of articles. I might as well, maybe put 2 or 3 links in the description box below. You check them out. So I just personally believe that this is his personal family life. This is him, and it's like, I don't want anyone interfering with me and my children because I'm taking care of them. So I wouldn't like, just as I wouldn't like some outsider talking about me, my family, and my wife. It's like, fuck off. It's my family. In the same way, I'm pretty sure it's not right outsiders comment about him and his personal family life. So I'm not covering that controversy in this video. Like I said before in my previous video, it is his personal life. I even put a YouTube video about it. It's his personal life. Don't talk about it. It's none of your fucking business. You're not paid any money. You're not looking after. So stop talking about, equal rights, humanity, he is torturing her. You don't fucking know it. You're just farting out of your ass because you read it somewhere. So stay out of it. This is I'm not covering their personal family life. So coming to this book, let's now move on to the summary. First is the summary, okay? The inner summary, this book is divided into 5 parts. Let me show you the table of contents. First you have my vision. I hope lighting is okay. My vision. And then following that you have, here is the table of contents, sorry. Table of contents, can you see? Yeah, table of contents. So it's 5 chapters, 5 parts and 13 total chapters, okay? So 5 parts and 13 chapters, and this is what the book is all about. And then it obviously has a conclusion. So that's just the summary of the book. Okay. Now coming to the detailed analysis. Now the detailed analysis, I'll be speaking on all the 13 chapters. Yes, all the 13 chapters. And I'll just be giving you just a rundown, just a rough rundown of the 13 chapters. So let's move on to the detailed analysis. Now chapter 1, after the introduction, which is there, he just speaks on leadership, what is required. Obviously he puts his name. Let me show you. He puts his name. So this is written by him. You can see it here. Yeah. And finally, he starts off after the introduction. Part 1, that is the pulse. Hey, can you see? Yeah, the pulse of development. The pulse of development. That is part 1. So now in this chapter, he starts with a nice analogy. I like the lion and Gazelle analogy. What he means by that is the lion has to run fast to catch the Gazelle in order to eat food, but the Gazelle has to run faster than the lion if it has to survive. So he brings this analogy where even if you're the lion or you're the Gazelle, you have to run fast. You have to outdo your competition, otherwise you'll not survive. And according to Sheikh Mohammed in this chapter, chapter 1, he says everyone remembers the first place, nobody remembers the second place. So it shows you the mentality of Sheikh Mohammed. He always wants to be number one. Then next part, he speaks about creativity and the pioneering spirit, how that is very, very important, and that is the shortest route to success. And Sheikh Mohammed also believes that there are enough and more UAE citizens, enough and more talent that they can accomplish any task. So you don't actually need outsiders. You have talent within the UAE. Okay. Then he also addresses the fear that, some people don't want to employ someone who's smarter than them because they're afraid of their job loss, which is a reality. And he also reminds the reader that in the Arab world, you had amazing inventions in the past. The Muslim world, that is the triangular shaped, Latin sail, of the boats, which makes the boat move faster. Then excellence in astronomy. Well, one of the reasons why they have finished no more achievements in the Arab scientific achievements in the Arab Muslim world is because of religion. Yeah, too much of. That's why you don't see anyone getting a Nobel Peace Prize, but that's in the criticism. Okay. Then he also illustrates the importance of speed. You either be ahead of competition or you'll not survive. And then finally ends the chapter by saying, let's get ready for tomorrow. So as you can see, I've underlined a lot of stuff. Let me just check so I can make sure. I underlined a lot of stuff which I found important, with the yellow highlights. So I was able to underline what I felt was really important in each and every part of the chapter. So in the second chapter, the second one, he moves, that is the elements of the developing industry. I'm sorry, you cannot see elements of the developing industry. That is chapter 2, where he speaks on the vision. Okay. Now, in the vision, he starts off with a very interesting story, with the incident between him and his father, whereby, many people were criticizing Sheikh Rashid and saying, why are you building this port and why are you, spending so much money on birds? Sheikh Mohammed listened to his critics and approached his father, because those days, people could just approach the ruling family very easily. But his father explained to him about the vision, the future. And he told him, why he was creating Port Rashid and Jebel Ali Port. Sheikh Mohammed in this second chapter speaks on great leaders who go through the University of Life. He also spoke on the impossible task which UAE had focused on. One was the formation of the UAE, that is on December 7th, 1971. It was formed despite a weak economy, despite very basic healthcare system, and despite there was hardly an education system in place. And he brought back the incident whereby Sheikh Zayed and Sheikh Zayed is the ruler of Abu Dhabi, the late ruler of Abu Dhabi, and Sheikh Rashid, they met at a village in Samha, and it was on 18th February 1968 where they decided on the formation of UAE. And then they convinced the other Emirates to join in. And then he speaks on the second impossible task, that was the construction of Jebel Ali Port, which was completed in 2 years, and in 1979 with 35 berths, okay, where you can have so many ships. In fact, he also illustrates the fact that this is the only man-made structure you can see from space. And then in this chapter, he also speaks on the 9 elements of a true leader's vision. Like, for example, some of the questions he asks is, what is the ideal time to propose a vision? Which countries are interested in a vision? How do you convince investors for a vision? And finally, the last bit, that is 11 features of a true leader's vision. He should be far-sighted. His announcement should make an impact. It should be positive. And, the true leader's vision should have 4 phases. That is implementation phase, mobilization of resources, the winning team, and perfect timing. Okay. So this was part 2. I kind of enjoyed it because it felt more like a management book whereby, you talk of leadership, you talk of vision, and he elaborates more on this. Now, chapter 3 is where, he shows a little bit of humility, where he says, which I found it unbelievable. He says that I find it hard to talk on leadership. Why? Because leadership is a complex and complicated subject. And according to him, two of his greatest leaders, obviously, he being an Arab Muslim and a son of Dubai, he would obviously choose an Arabic leader. And that is why most of the quotes are even from Arab leaders. Well, obviously, by default, two of the greatest leaders, according to him, is Sheikh Zayed and Sheikh Rashid. Sheikh Zayed is the late ruler of Abu Dhabi, or the father of the nation, and Sheikh Rashid is his father. And I totally agree with him, because Sheikh Zayed was known as the visionary. One of the reasons why he is considered a visionary, a great leader, is because, one of the actions that he had performed was drilling of artisan wells. Now, those days, after Dubai, there was nothing but desert. So you had to drive in the desert to Abu Dhabi, and there was always a risk you can get lost or you can die of thirst. And from Abu Dhabi to Al Ain, that was even worse. So Sheikh Zayed, the ruler of Abu Dhabi, built these wells, built a modern highway, built greenery, built palm trees, and he transformed Abu Dhabi into the world's largest oasis. So, for that, you need a kind of a vision. You can't just think back of your head. You need to have foresight. And that is what Sheikh Zayed had. And Sheikh Rashid, that is his father, saved the economy by creating the world's largest man-made port. So in this chapter of leadership, Sheikh Mohammed also says that he knows that not everyone can be a leader. Not everyone can be made into a leader, no matter what. It is either you have it or you don't. Okay. And if you have it, you can groom it. But if you really don't have it at all, you just can't. So he talks about grooming and nurturing talent. And he also outlines the 16 successful traits for leadership. That is, you should be able to empower others, set clear goals, have clear communication, face crisis head on. So he gives 16 points. Now, the 16 points of leadership, he has, let me show you. He has these many chapters where I have many points which he has put, which I've underlined. So I took out the main points. Now, which I've highlighted in my article. Okay. Now, chapter 4, he speaks on management. Okay. Now, if you understand, you go through business, leadership is one thing, management is another. But here, what I liked about the chapter of management is where he speaks on the need for having a capable manager, a person who can actually implement the vision of a leader. He very candidly speaks on the fact that the crisis of the Arab world is not men, money, or morale. It is management and management systems. In fact, one of the quotes he gives is, routine is the enemy of the pioneering spirit. So management has to keep making it exciting, innovative, pioneering for people to work. In fact, one of the thought-provoking questions he asked in management is the citizen supposed to be at the service of the civil servant, or the civil servant should be at the service of a citizen? So he speaks more on the drama that is there in the public sector. In fact, one of the interesting stories in this is with him and the lion, which I found pretty shocking. Arabs have these crazy ass pets, wild animals like lions and gazelles and all that kept in the house. They have these big fields. So one of the incidents that he gives is he was just sleeping, and when he woke up, he saw this lion's big face right in front of his face. And given the fact that he was born and raised with lions, and he was not scared, he just pushed the lion's face, and the lion kept coming back. And then he jumped out of the window. The lion followed him. And then he came back and shut the lion out. So apparently the lion was killing other domesticated animals. He was not afraid. So I think the story showed, that he himself has a lot of courage, a lot of guts, and it showed his leadership and how he manages crisis. And then, he ends the chapter by stating that he has a dream to make the public sector as good as the private sector. So that was chapter 4 in terms of management. Then chapter 5, Chapter 5, he speaks on decision-making and teamwork. Good question that he asks in decision-making is, how can a leader avoid making the wrong decisions? He gives the example of 1991 in Gulf War, where there was a lot of attacks on the sea and air, movement, and none of the insurance companies were ready to insure. So Dubai responded by insuring all air and sea traffic. Okay, that is for themselves, so they wouldn't have any problems. And then he also gives the example of November 2001. This is after September 9/11, where the entire economy was in a slump, nobody was buying anything. The aviation industry was completely decimated, but he took the decision to spend 55 billion, that's 15 billion US dollars, to purchase 58 modern aircrafts. Then he also announced the 3 new projects, that is Dubai Golf Course, Dubai Media City, Dubai Internet City, even though the expert said you're making a mistake. So he shows that how you can make decisions, okay, how you can make decisions even when times are tough. In fact, he challenges the belief that, Arabs have that Arabs are good as individuals but bad as team members, or they cannot work in teams. So he shows how he was able to achieve all this because of these teams. And finally, he says, good teams should be created on mutual trust, commitment, close cooperation, good communication, and clearly set goals. Okay, so that was chapter 5. I know, a lot of chapters. Then we come to part 3, that is development of survival. Okay, now in this, he speaks on what they have developed in the UAE. One of the key chapter focuses was the creation of the pearl industry in the UAE. Remember this, that olden days, Dubai had a major pearl business. So he speaks from a historical perspective of 1902. That is where Sheikh Maktoum bin Hashir, who is those days the ruler of Dubai, abolished all custom duties so that more imports would come in and they could export, say they wanted to make it a global hub. He outlines a paradigm shift that they had to undergo for the 17 years of recession that was during the Great Depression, 1929 to 1945. And Sheikh Saeed, who then became the ruler of Dubai in 1937, had the agreement with the oil exploration company, that is the Trucial States Petroleum Company, where those days apparently they got 30,000 Indian rupees. Can you believe that? 30,000 Indian rupees for a 75-year time period. And if they found oil, they would get 200,000 rupees annually. But apparently they didn't find any oil. So they moved into making Dubai a global hub. They made it duty-free. That is why Indian gold started coming in and they were able to re-export it. He also spoke on the dredging of the creek in 1960, making, 2 long berths along its bank, Dubai Creek. The highlight of this chapter is creation of Port Rashid, Jebel Ali Port, Dubai, and Dubai World Trade Center. The chapter also focuses on how oil prices in the 1970s were $2. Can you believe $2 a barrel? Went up to $38 in 1982. Today, I don't know, maybe 50. Then demand for aluminium. Oh, by the way, and during the boom period, it was almost 150. It was going crazy. That's how they were thinking of all these big projects. Then the demand for aluminium, which was 151,000 tons in 1983. In 2005, 722 tons. I checked in 2017, it was 2.6 million tons, which is around 900 million US dollars or 3.3 billion. Then he spoke on UAE's economy, which was $37 billion. And today it's $382 billion. I do not know how much is non-oil. So that was chapter 6, where he speaks on more of its commercial side. Chapter 7 is minding the minds. This one he speaks about the youth. Oh, by the way, let me share with you some nice pictures. There are some nice pictures here. Let me just make sure that you can see it. Here he is with the ruler of Abu Dhabi. Here's Sheikh Zayed. Here are some of the photographs. This is Sheikh Rashid and Sheikh Zayed. Sheikh Mohammed is here, Sheikh Zayed is here. So they had a rather close-knit relationship. And this is during when Sheikh Mohammed went for the UN peacekeeping forces. So, lots of nice photographs. I really like the photographs. which are shown here. He's with Hillary Clinton. So quite a number of nice photographs. You have a nice collage. So you can actually see Sheikh Mohammed through all these years. And here, a candid, nice photograph, which you don't get very often. Okay. So in chapter 7, he speaks on minding the minds, about the youth, how you can nurture talent. One of the parts that he gives here is, he is aware of the fact that in many departments, they do not allow talent to come up, maybe because of jealousy or whatever factor. So Sheikh Mohammed has a secret shopper where these people go, or, secret person who is employed as kind of a spy just to check the operations. And if someone gives exceptional service, they identify who this talented person is, and that is where they help this person grow. Now, what I loved about this paragraph is most company managers, there's a paragraph, he says, most company managers spend a substantial part of their income searching for suitable talent. I, on the other hand, spend a substantial part of my time searching for the right positions for these talented people. So, whereas other people are just searching for talent to be filled in positions, Sheikh Mohammed focuses on creating positions for talent. And he has a chapter dedicated for women and the importance of women. Apparently, 3/4 of the graduates in UAE are women, which is not surprising because a lot of these women are very ambitious. They want to do something. And Sheikh Mohammed also says that, he's ready to appoint 100% all women in any department if he feels that they are the right one. Chapter 8 focuses on horses. I was kind of surprised with this chapter because, I didn't think then there was a need for the horses. But when I read it, I understood why. Apparently, Arabs have this thing for horses, love for horses, whereby it's not only religious, cultural, traditional, but it's important for an Arab to identify himself with the steed, because in those days, they used to conquer different countries on a horse's back. So, he speaks on horses, how he has incorporated his children to take part in this sport, to love horses. He spoke on the 160-kilometer endurance challenge, which he has won many times, and the various breeds like the Burial Turk, the Godolphin Barb, the Godolphin Arab, and the Darley Arabian. Apparently, these are his favorite breeds. Chapter 9, he speaks on positive and negative energy, which is important at the workplace that is positive. He also speaks on the fact that Arabs love to criticize one another, which is not good. And, the importance of having a nurturing environment, excellence in training, and tools to succeed. Finally, you come to part 4. Part 4, that is excellence in development. There are 3 chapters here. The first one is the Revolutionary Program, which is Dubai Government Excellence Program, where they try to improve productivity and efficiency. He also shared how he, searches for talent. He spoke on excellence in investment, integration, marketing, and the key accomplishments of UAE in terms of stats. Then he also spoke on managing resources, cost efficiency, and coexisting. And he ends the chapter by saying, one of the reasons why there are so many people in UAE with 150 nationalities is security. Then, I know it's kind of long, but, I just wanted to cover. Chapter 11, let's quickly move on to chapter 11. Oh, by the way, here he also has, different other photographs of himself speaking in various places. You can see this is him in the government. People, always surround him. He's like the very charismatic leader. This is with him and his sons. This nice little photograph here. And this is him checking Emirates Airlines, So quite a number of good photographs. This is him being surrounded by women, the future talent of Dubai. And there's a nice photograph of him and a horsey. Okay. So overall, this is with him and his children. Okay. So quite a number of good photographs, which I got to see. He really loves horses. You can see here, he loves horses. So, this is him completing the endurance race. So chapter 11 is Made in Dubai. Now in Made in Dubai, he highlights the key achievements of Dubai. That is, once upon a time it was a desert. Today they have 6 million tourists a year, which I checked 2017 is 20.7 million. Jebel Ali Port, one of the achievements, it can be seen from, space. He also highlights UAE's achievement, that is 15 billion worth of aircrafts. He has 19 questions, which positions Dubai as number one. Like, for example, which is the largest media city, largest free zone, most active airport, most active man-made port, the tallest building. He also says the designs which Burj Al Arab, the Palm Island or Jumeirah has, it's more Arabian or Arabic. Like Burj Al Arab is an Arab dough. Palm Island is the date palm. Jumeirah Beach is the crescent of the wave. And some of the designs which they had in mind was to write in Arabic, font. Then he speaks on the Dubai Way, which is 6 parts: crystallize your vision, set goals, draw plans, have time for implementation, and signal what are the projects. And he also spoke what is the road ahead for Dubai UAE. In this chapter 12, he speaks on institutionalizing success. Here he speaks on why Western democracy doesn't fit well with the Arab democracy. He gives the culture of excellence, gave the example of German engineering and why the label Made in Dubai is very important, and the leading developments of models, that is, if you have talent and you have the experience, help other Arab states to grow. Finally, the road to the future, where he speaks on the 5 important points. That is, peace is required, democracy is required, globalization is required, development of skill and talent, and the youth. And finally, his vision to make Dubai the central hub, the world power, and Arab power should be number one Middle East. Okay, so this is more or less the detailed summary. Now I will move on to the landmark achievements. There are just a couple of them. In 1963, they had opened the Maktoum Bridge. 1963, Sheikh Rashid also initiated Dubai Petroleum and Dubai Offshore Operating Company that went into partnership. 1966, they discovered oil in the Fateh fields. 1969, Sheikh Rashid ordered Port Rashid to have 4 berths and reordered for 11 berths. 1969, Sheikh Rashid once again ordered the construction of Jebel Ali Port. Then 1972 and 78, Sheikh Rashid ordered Jebel Ali to have 35 berths. 1979 was the creation of Dubai. 1979 was World Trade Center also came. 1985, Emirates Airlines started with only 2 chartered aircrafts, which today has 244. 1997, Dubai Excellence Government Program started. That is to ensure that the public sector is as good as the private sector. Year 2000, Dubai Gulf, Internet City, Media City. That was inaugurated October 2000. And 2002, Dubai Financial Sector. Now comes the wordplay in the book. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I liked the 6 phrases that they use in this. Okay, the 6 phrases, the wordplay in this book. This is the book. Is number 1, page 32. He speaks. People talk about Dubai vision when they should be talking about the vision for Dubai. Vision for Dubai. Okay, page 32. Page 96. Salahuddin Al-Ayyub said, "To make a mistake in clemency is better, in my opinion, than to be right in punishment." Then page 113, he says, "Not every rider is a horseman, and not every horseman is a knight. A horseman who is the one who rides a horse, but a knight is a horseman who knows the meaning of riding a horse." See the words. It's chivalry, magnanimity, and pedigree. Page 118, he says, "Laziness cannot compete with activity, creativity with monotony, and motivation with frustration." Page 121, he says, "Although building is more difficult than destroying, peace is more difficult than war, convincing is more difficult than imposing, and these 3 are always more endearing." Good language. And page 129, which he says, "Development is an accumulative and integral process." Now here he compares it. It's like a nutritional recipe for the nations. If the recipe, the ingredients, and preparation is right, we'll enjoy a terrific meal with a hallmark of quality. So these were some of the wordplays. So, okay, now comes the part which I'm sure many of you will forward and just, check this section of the video. That is me criticizing the book. Now, mind you, I'm not going to criticize Sheikh Mohammed personally. I'm not going to criticize his family. I'm not going to criticize his, personal life or, his family life. No, that is not something that I'll do. The only criticisms that I'll give is with regards to the ideas in this book and with regards to what was said. So if you're looking for something like personal or family, I'm sorry, you're checking the wrong channel. But if you're looking for challenging the ideas, well, watch on. And if you want to give your comments, please state the statement that I made and tell me whether I'm wrong or right. I'd love to hear your views. Okay. So without taking any more time, let's move on to the criticisms, my criticisms on the ideas of this book. Now, obviously, because this book is about the vision of Dubai and the leadership, obviously, I didn't expect, some of the glaring inaccuracies or mistakes to be highlighted. However, I have cherry-picked some of them. The first one, on page 63, he says that you can speak your mind freely. Sheikh Mohammed says, and I quote, "I appreciate those who speak their minds without fear or hesitation. How can a leader learn from his mistakes if people are telling him that he's right all the time, while deep in their hearts, they have another opinion?" Here's the thing. Number one, you cannot speak your mind freely in Dubai. You cannot. Any opinion, any comment, any update which goes against the ruling family, the religious beliefs of Islam, or any of the powers that may be, you're finished, you're destroyed. You just have to like the page of something that is not in line with the UAE values, you're finished. So I totally beg to differ. You cannot speak your mind without fear. Now, Sheikh Mohammed says you can speak your mind without fear. The proof of this is when Sheikh Mohammed came out with these ambitious projects, that is Palm Island 1, 2, 3, then the world, then waterfront, nobody spoke their mind. That is why they went ahead with all these projects. If someone had spoken their mind and told, what the hell is going on? How many cities are there? How much freehold property? What is all this going on? They wouldn't have done this. They burnt their fingers because everyone was just kissing ass. Sorry to use a phrase, but everyone's just praising, wow, what visionary, what greatest, biggest, this and that. That is why UAE went into bankruptcy. Okay, that's number one, page 63. Then page 61 to 64, I found contradictions. On one hand, Sheikh Mohammed says, these are his words, a leader dedicates his life to people and duty, which I agree, and therefore has no set working hours, while working hours of a manager are usually fixed. So on page 61, he says, there are no working hours. But on page 64, Sheikh Mohammed contradicts what he says and says, some people tell me that a manager works hard and is busy all the day, all the time, arriving in the office early in the morning and leaving late at night. In my opinion, such a manager may not be doing a good job. Despite his perseverance, if he cannot manage and develop himself, his department, improve his service and efficiency, he is underachieving and losing time. Here's my question. Should you work long hours or should you not work a long hours? So if you're working long hours, you are focusing on vision and leadership, or if you're working long hours, you're inefficient. I found this contradicting. Small thing, but still I found it contradicting. And by the way, almost the majority of people in UAE work unending hours, long hours, 12 hours, 14 hours, 7 days a week. Not all, but majority of them. Page 70. He speaks on feasibility of projects. Okay. He says, in Dubai, we do not take any decision unless we're totally confident about the feasibility of the project and our availability to assimilate the market. And whenever we launch a new project, we never stop till it's completed. Now, this is what I said in this book. Here's my criticism. The world is a massive failure. Palm Jebel Ali, they scrapped the project. Waterfront, where they thought they would bring 120 kilometers into the ocean, they scrapped the project. What happened? Where was the feasibility of this? In fact, they have not completed these projects. It's a miserable failure. They are still trying to save face. While the projects which they completed, Al Maktoum International Airport, Dubai Central, I'm just giving two. And in fact, even Business Bay, what happened to them? So Page 70 says, we do not undertake any project unless we are confident on the feasibility. Here, I just give you the examples. These are failed. Okay. So there's another error in this book. Now, page 85, Sheikh Mohammed says, freedom of press. Page 85. He says, I never try to impose or imply to the press what they should be writing or publishing media, because media professionals know how to do their jobs better than I do. What I always wish, however, is if criticisms to be accurate and supported with content that is a result of professional research, not originating from dubious sources, rumors or insinuations. Here's the thing. Anyone who's in Dubai, UAE knows there's no freedom of press. You put anything against, like I said, the family, religion, or about Dubai, you're finished. You want evidence? Go down to Dubai, check what is happening on the streets, especially in the nightclubs. You'll not see any mention of this in the press. I challenge you. Now, page 130, Sheikh Mohammed says, a leader walking without security. He speaks on, our leaders can walk down the streets without armored cars, without entourage of cars, motorcycles, because they are not afraid of their people. We are one of them. This is a whole load of rubbish, okay? I know it because when I used to work in GITEX, that is Gulf International Technology Exhibition, when I used to work in conferences, 3 days before any member of the royal family would come, they would have sniffer dogs, they would have the army, they would have CIDs, they would have security personnel, everyone checking the venue, checking every nook and corner, making sure everything is safe. In fact, me, with my tattoos, I used to be whisked away because, I didn't fit into this thing of safety. So they'd always throw me out. You get the personal bodyguards checking each and everything. So anywhere where any member of the royal family walks, before that, they clean up the area. They just make sure it's safe. So this is rubbish that a leader can walk without security. I would challenge you this. You see Sheikh Mohammed from afar, just run. You will get pinned down in seconds. You can't just walk up to him and just take a selfie unless, of course, they've already, because he's the leader of the country. Come on, this is rubbish. Okay. Then page 142, he says, there's a mention about excellence in marketing. Here's my challenge, page 142, marketing versus delivery. He says, excellent in marketing speaks about Dubai Shopping Festival and Dubai Summer Surprise. Dubai Summer Surprise and Dubai Shopping Festival has been overdone, has been overused, has been over-abused, has been overhyped. And today, those two are a massive, massive failure, which it doesn't explain in the book. Then page 149, Sheikh Mohammed speaks about, he says, we want people to achieve a balance in their life, giving them jobs, due attention and time, at the same time, giving time to their families, because the best time someone can have with their family. What rubbish. The only people who get time to spend with their families are Emirati locals. They are allowed to come on time and leave on time. During Ramadan, Arab locals go home early because they are fasting. They don't give the same privilege to Asians. They don't give the same privilege to expats unless you're a Gora white passport holder. Majority of the Indians, Pakistanis, Sri Lankans, Asians, they work never-ending hours. I personally know friends who are working 5 days a week, 6 days a week, even 7 days a week. Some of them even get calls late in the night just to check, even on holidays. What is the project? Give me an update, send me a photograph. So that's all rubbish that I want balance with the family. Page 156, Sheikh Mohammed says that the world's best horses are being raised in Dubai. All I'll tell you is Google search the scandal hit, these words, scandal hit racehorse owner Sheikh Mohammed orders junior wife to head probe into banned equine drugs found on Dubai government private jet. You don't have to believe me, just check this mail online about drugs being found on Dubai government private jet for horses. It's not me, it's online. Page 157, he speaks on the $1 trillion of Arab assets in US and Europe. Here's my criticism to this. When the US market crashed, UAE and the Arab states lost billions. So this is proof that if you have trillions of dollars, it'll become nothing if you just invest in places abroad. And most of them Here's the thing. They invest in so many things, legally or illegally. I'm not saying that they're illegal, that when it crashes, it just wipes out the market. So this was another criticism that I have. And finally, page 203, he says Dubai is the center of the world. Now here's my criticism. Dubai is one tiny emirate. Okay, one tiny emirate of the major part of UAE. You want to make Dubai number one. You want to make UAE number one. But how can you make UAE number one when only Dubai is out there? Sharjah, Al Ain, Abu Dhabi, Ras Al Khaimah, Al Quwain, they're not bothered. Ajman, they're just sleeping. So you cannot make UAE number one unless all the other 6 states join Dubai and run equally. It's like having a chariot, 7 horses, 1 horse is running very fast, the rest of the horses are running slow. You can never succeed. So for Dubai to be number one in the world, it's just a city, it's not a country. And this is the mistake many people do. They think Dubai is UAE, Dubai is a country. No, Dubai is a small city. So for Dubai to be number one in the world, it's not going to happen unless all the other 6 emirates join in. And here's another thing. Now you're having competition from Qatar, you're having competition from China, you're having competition from Pakistan. These are countries which will compete with a city, and it's not possible to survive. In fact, one of the biggest challenges is Dubai is based on speculation and hype, and many people burnt their fingers with their investment. I doubt they're going to fall for it over again. So now comes the moment of truth. Long video. Here's the moment of truth. What do I think of this book? Like I said, Dubai is Sheikh Mohammed. Sheikh Mohammed is Dubai. Okay. The best analogy I can give you of the relationship between Sheikh Mohammed and Dubai is, for Sheikh Mohammed, Dubai is like his firstborn baby. And if you ask any father, any mother, with regards to their firstborn baby, they will never find any drawback, any mistake with their baby. They love their baby more than life itself. So given that Sheikh Mohammed put his heart, his soul, his blood, sweat and tears into Dubai, you can't expect him to criticize Dubai in this book. This book is about vision, it's about leadership, it's about achievement. And if you buy this book expecting to see any highlights of the drawbacks of Dubai, you'll never get any. But if you're looking to read a book that speaks on the glory, on the achievements and success of Dubai, this is the book. It's like, the best analogy I can give you of this book is, it's like you're watching a movie, divided into 3 parts. The first part is the good times, second part is the mistakes and the challenges, third part is the climax and the happy ending. You would get the first part, you'll get the third part. You'll not get the second part. So this is what this book is, the first part and the third part. Given that I was there in Dubai for 40 years of my life, I know what is the second part. I know the drawbacks. I know the mistakes. So that is where I highlighted in this book. So all I'm telling you is, if you want to understand the mind of Sheikh Mohammed, the leader, the man, the magic, the mystery, the charisma, this is the book. If you want to relate to the vision of Dubai, this is the book. But if you're looking for both sides of the argument, drawbacks, mistakes, pitfalls, you're not going to get it. So overall, according to me, personally speaking, I'm honored to read this book. I'm honored to read because I spent 40 years of my life in this country. I wanted to know the mind of this man. I wanted to know what his visions, aspirations, and what he wanted to do with Dubai. So for me, this was a book worth reading. I gave this book 6.5. Felt like giving it a 7, but I gave it a 6.5 because I wanted to be balanced. The drawbacks are not mentioned, which made this a balanced book. Overall, this was a good book. I was surprised that I really enjoyed it. I read it non-stop. I wanted to complete this book. I thought it would be boring, but it didn't turn out to be boring. So this was a great book for me. So if you're buying this book to find drawbacks of Dubai, you're not going to get it. So overall, 6.5. Enjoyed this book. Good book. Not great. Good book that really gives you insight of Sheikh Mohammed and Dubai. So if you are someone who really wants to understand the mind of Dubai, mind of Sheikh Mohammed, and know a bit of his history, buy the book. Otherwise, I would say skip it. So these are my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. As usual, I love to read your comments. Like the video, thumbs up. Don't like it, thumbs down. This is me signing off with a very lengthy video. Take care.